Welcome to Martini Time. Doggone it, my throat, every time I do this, my throat plugs up. Guess because I don't, I'm not talking for a while, and then I start to talk. And okay, so the title of this talk is Trump as Mad Men, the TV series. I watched it twice, and I need to watch it again because it keeps coming back up to the surface, like something I've, like the golden ball that the frog returns for the little princess. Remember that fairy tale? Well, the Mad Men is like that golden ball. It just comes up and reveals more and more about our culture and who we are. So right now we have two, and what's really beautiful about our current history is that history is our play. History is our Shakespearean tragedy. History is our fiction. History is our literature. We don't have to go read literature anymore. Media reports our history as literature for our entertainment and education. Isn't that interesting? So right now we are entranced with two stories that are ongoing, revealing themselves in real time. Who could make this stuff up? Trump is being gradually exposed as a lie, month by month. The most recent and biggest exposure was that his whole lie about being a self-made rich man turns out that he was given an allowance by his daddy, that his daddy bailed him out of all of his misadventures. And Brett Kavanaugh, who was kind of like a Don Draper perfect image man, is slowly being exposed. It's like the hospital gown that has a big moral front. Oh, I'm such a choir boy, I'm a virgin. My career, my intellect, my recommendation, my resumes. But the back of it's open. And so both of them are kind of like Don Draper characters. Don Draper, of course, built his whole persona, his whole life on a lie his fear of not being worthy, his inner poverty, caused him to take the identity of an officer. And so on that false identity, on that lie, he built a life. And the whole series was about this facade breaking up. Kind of like the image on your TV breaks up when a satellite image, when a storm breaks up. And the terror, even the logo of Mad Men, of him being in a room, and it turns out to be a dream, and it's cracking up, and now he's falling, 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 like coming off the Twin Towers. Falling, you see. So that sense of falling, having been propped up by your carefully crafted story, your story of me that you present to the public and take so much pride in and build a career on, selling the story of me, and to have it to begin to be chipped away and cracks appear, and you run and patch the cracks, but more cracks appear, and you have this terrifying sense that you're going to be exposed, vulnerable, defenseless, with no shield, no protection. That's worse than death. The terror of being vulnerable and having no defense, which, by the way, is the terror that women experience when they're raped. So anyway, we're watching, for me, I see metaphors. For me, then, I'm watching Trump and Kavanaugh like I'm watching Don Draper. They're both the same. So history is truth. If you can see it metaphorically, if you just see it for the concrete presentation, it's going to be divided into this is true and that is true. You see, so if we just see reality as being concrete, as being this, then in our culture it's going to divide into, well, I see it this way and I see it this way. And each way of seeing it are two opposite realities. But the only way to see it as one reality, the only way to see Trump and Kavanaugh and our whole pop culture media TV show that we're living in, is to see it metaphorically. So it's still this and that. It's still the two different views of what's the truth with Trump and what's the truth with Kavanaugh. But at the same time, when you see it metaphorically, as if it were literature, as if it were a movie, as if it were mythology, if you see it with that lens, you only see one reality. And then it informs you. And then reality enlightens you. And then reality makes you aware of your own madmen, your own madness, your own belief in your story, your own belief in your self-image and the fear of what people will think, the fear of being exposed, the fear of being uncovered, vulnerable. You see. That and a falling, you see. So that terror, that fear is underneath everything in American culture because we're all images. We live in an image culture. Everything is an image. Billboards, ads, print, TV, images. It's all hollow. The wasteland, the flatland, the hollow man, the image man. The madman, you see. That's our culture. That's our consumer culture. So we need to understand it, and we need to use it to wake up. We need to see it metaphorically in order to wake up from this dream, in order to see through the appearances, to make it transparent to my truth, to your truth. There's truth out there, but the truth out there is going to be divided into left and right truth, secular and religious truth. All truth is divided into this and that. There is no one truth out there, objectively, but there is one truth in you, and that's the truth you have to discover, but you can't discover it unless you see the objective world as if it were literature, art. And it's still objective. You still got different views. You still got to catch a bus. You still got to vote, have an opinion. But at the same time, you can see it as art that informs you, that awakens you, that enlightens you. As if God had written it. As if the external world is a living Bible written in modern forms. As if God were writing this reality for your enlightenment, for your salvation, not for the world, but for you. But you have to wake up to it. You have to see through it. And as long as you believe and see the external world as just historical facts, and you can't see and you can't make it transparent to the truth or transparent to the transcendence or to the whole, you're going to feel divided and in a hostile world and in confusion and in despair and why can't it, and being a victim and being hurt and attacking and being angry and all of this negativity. you see. So all of that, you see, is basically there to stimulate us through the suffering to wake up and see it metaphorically, to see through it. So when you see through when it becomes transparent, then it reveals you, not the world. It reveals you, because you are the world, and the world is you. Thanks for dropping in.